We spend so much time teaching our dogs to understand us. We teach them words, rules, commands, routines. We celebrate every new behavior they learn. But here's a question most of us rarely stop to ask. What if your dog has been trying to understand you all along? Not just what you say, but who you are, the way you move through the house, the way your voice changes after a difficult day, the little routines you repeat without even noticing. Perhaps there are things your dog wishes every owner understood, not about training, not about obedience, but about what life actually feels like from a dog's point of view. In this video, we'll explore 7 quiet truths that may completely change the way you see the relationship you share. And the first one surprises almost everyone. People often worry they're not doing enough for their dog. Maybe they came home later than usual, missed a walk, skipped a game, or simply had a difficult day with less time and energy to give. It's easy to wonder whether one imperfect day has somehow damaged the relationship. But dogs usually aren't looking for perfect owners. What often helps them feel secure is something much quieter: consistency, the familiar rhythm of everyday life, the way mornings usually begin, the way you greet them when you come home, the small routines they learn they can count on. Those ordinary moments may not seem very important to us, yet they quietly tell a dog what to expect from the world around them. And that sense of predictability can become deeply reassuring. Dogs don't wake up hoping you'll be perfect today. They simply hope today feels familiar and safe, because in many cases, it's not perfection that helps a dog relax. It's living with someone whose world is understandable. Like, many people believe dogs mainly respond to our words, but words are only one small part of the conversation. Long before we speak, our dogs may already be noticing something else: the pace of our footsteps, the tension in our shoulders, the expression on our face, the sound of our voice. Even small emotional changes can be part of what they observe every day. Scientists have explored this idea as well. In one study, researchers found that dogs appeared able to match human facial expressions with the emotional tone of a person's voice. In other words, they weren't responding to just one signal. They were putting different pieces together to understand how a person might be feeling. That doesn't mean dogs read our minds, but it does suggest they often notice more than we realize. Your emotions don't stay inside you. They become part of the world your dog experiences every single day. And perhaps that's why some dogs seem to know we need quiet company before we've said a single word. One of the biggest misunderstandings about love is believing that more is always better. More petting, more talking, more attention, more time together. We often assume that if our dog loves us, every invitation to interact should be welcome. But dogs don't always experience affection the way people imagine. Sometimes they choose to lie quietly beside us. Sometimes they get up and rest a few feet away. Sometimes they simply want to watch the room without being part of every moment. That doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong. In many cases, it simply means they're comfortable enough to make a choice. Real security often includes the freedom to say, "Not right now." And relationships become stronger when that choice is respected. Love isn't always measured by how close two bodies are. Sometimes it's measured by how safe both feel sharing the same space. When we stop asking our dogs to prove their affection every moment of the day, we often begin to notice something much quieter. They were already showing us trust all along. Our daily routines may feel so ordinary that we barely notice them, but to a dog, those small patterns can become some of the most predictable parts of life. The order in which the morning begins, the familiar sound of keys before a walk, the quiet rhythm of the evening. Day after day, these moments create a world that starts to make sense. Researchers have seen something similar when studying the relationship between dogs and their owners. Studies on the secure base effect suggest that the presence of a trusted owner can help many dogs feel more confident when facing unfamiliar situations. The owner isn't simply a source of affection, they also become a source of reassurance. That helps explain why everyday routines matter so much. What feels ordinary to you may be one of the most comforting parts of your dog's day, because your dog isn't just learning a schedule. They're learning that the world remains steady and that someone they trust is part of it. It's easy to remember the moments we wish had gone differently. The walk we had to cut short, The day we came home late, the afternoon we were distracted. Many people quietly wonder whether those moments change the way their dog feels about them. But relationships are rarely built from isolated days. They are built from countless ordinary ones. Dogs experience life with us, one day at a time. A calm morning, a familiar greeting, a quiet evening together. None of these moments seems remarkable on its own, yet over months and years they begin to create something much bigger, an emotional picture of what life usually feels like. Your dog may not remember every single day, but he may remember what life beside you usually feels like. And if that feeling is usually safe, predictable, and calm, one imperfect day is unlikely to erase everything that came before. When scientists study animal welfare today, they rarely focus on a single moment. Instead, they look at the bigger picture. One framework known as the Animal Welfare Assessment Grid, or AWAG, is built on the idea that an animal's well-being is shaped by the overall quality of everyday life rather than by isolated experiences. That idea changes the way we think about our relationship with our dogs. Consistency, emotional stability, predictable routines, respect for a dog's choices, quiet moments shared together. None of these may seem especially important on their own, but over time they begin to create the emotional world your dog lives in every day. Perhaps that's why relationships are rarely defined by one perfect afternoon or one difficult morning. They are shaped by thousands of ordinary moments woven together, and when those moments usually feel safe, understandable, and kind, they become something much greater than a routine. They become the foundation of trust. So, what might your dog wish every owner understood? Perhaps not how to give more treats, or buy more toys, or make every single day perfect. Perhaps something much simpler. That feeling safe matters more than looking perfect. That being understood matters more than being constantly entertained. That quiet consistency can mean more than occasional grand gestures. We often measure love by what we give. Our dogs may experience love through the life we create around them, a life that feels predictable, calm, respectful, and safe. Maybe that's why the strongest relationships are rarely built in extraordinary moments. They are built in ordinary days that quietly tell a dog, you belong here. You can relax. You are safe with me. And perhaps that's the most beautiful thing our dogs have been trying to teach us all along.